Hey guys, Yola here. Welcome to day 2 of my Design Your Exceptional Life Challenge. I am very proud you're here because you know that statistics show that only 10 to 15% of people who actually start any type of course or challenge actually finish it. So you are here. You are on the way to be a part of that exclusive group of 10 to 15%. Congratulations. Again, since you are here, you devoted this time, I would love to one more time remind you, eliminate all the distractions so that you can fully focus on what we're talking about, so you can actually get the most out of it. Yeah, so shut all the notifications, close unnecessary browsers on your computer, shut the doors, ask the family not to bother you for a little bit, and even the pets, if you can just let them be for a little bit by themselves, that would be amazing. So just recapping our first day yesterday. In this whole challenge, we're talking about designing exceptional life. And in phase 1, day 1, we talked about simply making that decision. Today is the day that I am no longer going to settle for mediocrity. I am not interested in an average life. We learned in the last 3 months, or actually if you think about it, where I live in the east coast of the United States, it's about 100 days right now of the quarantine and lockdown, and this time truly showed people over and over how precious life is, how tomorrow is not promised to anyone, how many things that we considered as important are truly are not, and vice versa, how many things we undervalued and then we need to put more focus on them. And so we talked about the importance of making decision. Yeah, now it's the time to focus on that exceptional life. And so with the decision, everything is related to the mindset, because all change starts between the 2 ears, as I talk about this. It's all about how we think about stuff. It's about how strong our mindset is. If we have a growth mindset, we open for possibilities, we are curious, we want to check, we want to examine, we are open for discussion, and we just want to grow. Or we may have that fixed mindset that no matter what you hear and no matter what it's happening in life, you're done. You basically are not interested in any changes. So I already know, if you're here, you're not that part of society. You are here to grow, get better, and get the most out of life. Then we talked about importance of the thoughts, how important it is truly to have positive thoughts, because they really create our reality. Everything that we think, it's like energy. We can almost literally create what surrounds us. It's a fascinating topic. And also the power of words, like when we talk to ourselves without love, if we talk down on ourselves, if we belittle ourselves, we create the way we feel, and how we feel it, this is what our life looks like. So it's super important to understand the power and importance of the words. I didn't use this example yesterday, but it came to mind. Just think about one word, how many different meanings it can have, and how many different ways that one word can make us feel. So let's say if you're on a barbecue with the family and somebody says the word fire. Well, that word fire is probably either in your bonfire or it's maybe on that grill, and it means in the long run, first of all, and a nice soft yellow flames that are like a nice way of you thinking, wow, the great food will be coming my way, always sitting around the warm fire, and we just basically connecting with friends, family, and it's a good thing, right? Now, if you're in a work environment and your boss calls you and you hear a word fire from him, it's a totally different ball game, right? Now you're in a lot of trouble. You must have lost your lifeline, your earnings. You just lost your job. So fire in that case is totally different. And again, the third meaning, let's say if you're in the woods and it's a dry season and you hear the word fire, boom, we're talking danger. We're talking some serious, dire straits. So just by the word that you hear, you say, it makes you feel very differently in so many different circumstances. And the same goes what you talk to yourself. If you call yourself stupid, incapable, unworthy, all this is going to make you feel that way. So make sure if you missed yesterday's lesson, you go and catch up. And also please make sure that if you didn't do the homework yesterday, that you also go and do it, because all of our actions, of all of our behaviors are driven by the reason, by the why, the big why that we have. And again, if we do not have that big enough why, no matter what it is, we're not going to succeed, because if it gets a little bit difficult, we find a roadblock, we find some obstacle on the way, we're just going to give up. But if the why is strong enough, if it's something that we know that would give our lives for it, then we're definitely going to continue regardless of how hard it is. Therefore, people that are on the mission, they have these strong whys, they accomplish those missions because they knew it was worth it, and they knew that was worth it for them, and they knew that it was so important for them. Okay, so today, my friends, it's day number 2. And I call it, like in coaching, almost like a doctor's phase. So we're going to diagnose, again, letter D, right? We started with designing the life. Then the phase number 1 was just decide that we want to change. Today we are going to diagnose, like a doctor, diagnose what was not working. We're going to try to determine what needs to change ASAP in order to start moving and progressing towards what we really want in life. And it's interesting. Socrates once said that unexamined life is not worth living. How interesting, right? I mean, we're not going to sit in some square in the middle of a city and just like a philosophers, like make all these different, evaluations of life and our own philosophical approaches to life. Who has time for that? But what's important, it's really look even from few steps, aside. Look and just think, how was yesterday? How was today, if it's an evening? How was my last week? How was my last month? How was half a year? How was the quarter, right? Half a year. How was last 10, 15, 20 years of my life? I love this question that Nietzsche asked. He says, on an average day, if you look at your life, would that life be worth repeating, to live it again? Like, think about this. Like, so many people go through life and day by day is the same. I said it yesterday, people with that mindset, fixed mindset, they basically are copying. Everything falls into this one stream of identical days. That's why they end up at the end of the life and they don't even know what happened, how fast that passed, because each day is the same. Nothing makes them excited, happy. Their life is mundane and boring and perhaps, unfulfilling, and that's even worse, right? So examine that. How was your life in the past? And as a high performance coach, I use with every client or with every person I work with, I use this technique of basically self-evaluation and scoring, because what you don't measure, you cannot improve. And so in today's session, in the topics that we will discuss together, as well as in the homework that you absolutely need to complete as well, which I'll talk about at the end. All of these categories that we're going to talk about during the session and from a slightly different angle in the homework, they all require some sort of self-assessment and a measure, because when you have your score, then you know where you are. Again, no one can tell you what your 1 on the scale from 1 to 10. 1 means like, the life, nothing there to show for. And 10, it's like abundant, vibrant, amazing. exceptional. So no one tells you what the 4 or 7 is for you, but only you know that. So therefore, it's so important to be able to measure it and score it, right? And then we simply have to ask ourselves this question: are we happy with our own scores? Because again, look, if you are fine where you are, would you be entertaining an idea of a little bit more? You would probably be just fully satisfied and you wouldn't be here, right? When people start asking themselves question what that next level for me would be in any given area of life, that's where the growth happens, and that's when they actually can make improvements. So if they do not see a need for it, then obviously that's not something that they would even consider. But you are here, and I know that you know that you could improve certain things in your life. I certainly know I can. So in this session, I will cover the topics that we can look back, examine, determine, diagnose, and see what can be changed in the future based on high performance studies. So I will give you first a concept of high performance habits, because it is so important that if something wasn't working in the past, it's not a done deal. We're not just like, we didn't ruin our life forever. It's about certain behaviors and habits that can be either implement a new one, some old one maybe we have to, delete, erase from our lives, and things can change. So nothing is like granted, done, fixed forever. We can still improve it. And those high performance habits are the ones that really can get us to that amazing next level high performing life. I will give you a couple other concepts. I based actually all my talk today on these 2 books, and you absolutely need to one day get accustomed with them. So it's a High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard and The Charge by the same author. Brendon Burchard is my mentor, who I truly it's just like I have such a high regard for the man. He changed my life completely. And as a matter of fact, my main area as a certified high performance coach is based on high performance studies and high performance habits. But what I want to talk about today is, so we're going to examine our life, what wasn't working in the past based on these concepts from the habits as well as from the charge life, because they're a slightly different approach, like a little bit deeper dive. But if you can crank them all up to the higher number, boy, your life starts feel again. You starts really like have this how you say it, twinkling sensation, sensation all over your body. That's when you're living it. Like when you love someone for the first time, everything is so new, fresh. Well, that life can be like that almost every single day if it's lived to the fullest. So that's what I want for you. I want you to live exceptional, amazing, fully charged life. So in high performance habits, we have 6 main habits that we're going to examine our life from that kind of like point of view. So number 1 is a clarity. How clear were we in the past? Like, did we really know what is it that we were looking at? Like who we want to be, what we want to achieve? Like, did we live almost like an autopilot? Like, okay, I went to school because my parents wanted me to, or did I pick the degree that I wanted to study? Or perhaps I didn't choose the college because I had different beliefs and I did not want to, and I put my foot down. I didn't listen to one. Was I the master of my life from the youngest age, or were other people kind of telling me what to do? And then if you pass that stage in life, if you already are running your business or running your family, are you clear what's the outcomes that you're after? Are you really clear what is it that you want to achieve, who you want to be as a parent, as a boss, as a team leader, as a friend, as a, as a maybe sibling, or what, just who do you want to be? What are the values in life that you're after? So the clarity in the past, if your life is missing stuff, if you feel like, if you don't know, that's the piece that needs to be improved. So the first habit is seek clarity, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow when we will be visualizing what is it that we really, really, really want to touch, almost like be so clear about this. So that's the piece. Be clear what you want. Again, you can get what you want if you don't know what it is. Simple. Then we need to see and look at our lives from like a point of the health, of well-being, and see how is our life energetically. Were we really firing on all cylinders in that department, or were we constantly tired and zero stamina to do? We're constantly burnt out, stressed out. If that's the case, in order to live that exceptional, amazing life, we need to really, really generate more energy. It's necessary. And there is so many amazing ways to do that. Like with high performance coaching, that's what we do with the clients. We help them throughout every stage of their life to get them to that level that they start really firing on all cylinders. And that's when they start, propel forward like rockets. That's what it is. So you can improve the energy by, improving simple things. And we talked about it in many different areas and many different talks. Simple things, again, simple things. And don't say, I already know it, because I will ask you immediately, do you do it? Do you sleep at least 7 hours? Do you drink at least half of your body weight in water? Do you have some sort of exercise routine 3 to 4 times a week minimum, that you move your body, that you get your blood flowing? It needs to be for your heart. You need to be for your general how you feel. You need to give your body proper nutrition. Again, the nutrition is a topic that we could beat that horse for the rest of our day, life, month, whatever. Everybody has a different sort of nutrition that's good for them, but it's important to do the right thing, right? You cannot be just improving your overall life if you eat something that it's not good for your body, because eventually your body is gonna tell you, look, I am not happy. So your body is gonna start acting a completely different way. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna be feeling, either overweight or perhaps under-energized again, and therefore you will not live that exceptional life. You need to be fully energized to feel that way. Then the next topic is, necessity. Do you know why? Again, ask yourself, examine that why. Like, make sure if in the past you were living kind of like, I call it the autopilot, but it's also like, what is necessary? Who do I need to be on my A game for? Often people who have children or teams they're responsible for, it's like their guiding light. They know that they need to act a certain way for these people in their life, and they will, adjust properly. But how many times we do not act that way? We just live and we know there is a better ways, but we don't do that. So in the past, ask yourself, were you always living your highest, from your highest self, being on your A game? People say like, how you do anything is how you do everything. Oh my God. What would you say if I ask you, would you do that if you knew that no one is watching? Like, those are the questions you need to ask yourself. And if there is some doubt here, if there is anything that you like, wait a minute, would I be that role model here? Like, would I do that? And if not, then again, how could you talk about exceptional life? So that's a great question to ask yourself. The next pillar of high performance is courage. It's basically become this bold courageous person that will go after what you wanted. How many times in the past you felt like you acting like a coward? You knew you could have raised your voice and say something about someone being hurt. You knew you could have asked for a raise, but you didn't. So therefore you felt very belittled. You felt small. You didn't play, fully. You could have maybe say something in the relationship that it wasn't perfectly, going on, and maybe your partner wasn't treating you well, and you didn't do it. You didn't demonstrate enough courage to say something and do something different. To live that fully vibrant, exceptional life, we have to be bold, brave, and go after what we want. Again, in my high performance coaching, I often ask my clients to do this exercise. Imagine if your most bravest, boldest future self stood next to you right now. What would they tell you to do? Not to just imagine your life, but what would they tell you to do, that one thing that you perhaps are scared to do? Would they tell you to just stay, be reserved, it's okay? Or would they tell you, go after it? You want it, go after it. So that's your habit of demonstrate courage. Then we have a pillar of productivity. Increase productivity. And again, the productivity here could be in a broader sense considered as effectiveness. Because, no matter what, if you think about your life, how much time in your life did you waste? Oh boy, how much time was spent in the most unproductive way in front of TV, on social media, with people who didn't, help you grow, rather put you down. So all these things, how much time did you waste? I love this example that Brendan brings up all the time in when he teaches high performance, is in the area of productivity. He says that on average, a person today watches about 4 hours of television a day. Just think about it. If you only watched 4 hours, and there are people that watch more than that, more than 4 hours a day, and you know these people. If you only watched 4 hours a day, multiply it times 7, multiply it times 52 weeks, and you will find out how many productive days. That's like weeks worth of time spent yearly. That's like 14 years or so non-stop in front of the screen. 14 years on an average life that I don't know what today is, but it's probably way in its high 70s. That's crazy. So please, please, please be serious about it. Productivity, effectiveness. Ask yourself, was I really effective with my life? Where would I be if I only put a little extra time, an hour maybe, every single day towards my dreams, my goals? Wow, I'm telling you, when we talked with people who are on the crossroads, they transitioning from one job to another, perhaps they walking away from their day job and they're trying the entrepreneurial careers, or are they students who just chose to go on with a different path, and they like, oh, you know what, but I'm so busy, I don't have time. Well, I can prove to you on any given day, I can give you time back, guaranteed. And therefore, my clients have such unbelievable results, because we can prove to them that there is enough time in a day, they just didn't see it. So that's another pillar, increase productivity. And the final is influence. So develop the influence, because with that, you can be the role model. If you weren't for your family, if you weren't for your people that you work with, for your friends, could you talk about living an exceptional life? or was it a mediocre life? You know, it was a life of a follower instead of a life of a leader. And you do not need to be a CEO of a company to, you know, be that leader. You can be leader in your own family. You can lead by example, be that role model. Just you know, be that influential person. Know that if people can look at you and they can, you know, learn from you, if you are that role model, if you're that example, now you started touching the areas of exceptional life. So these are the topics that I desperately need you to examine. And if you choose to work with me in the future, you will see how incredible progress you will make just by going deep into each area of your life from that one perspective. And then, like I said, Brandon has next level of assessment, and from the point of what gives the life more of a charge. Even, you know, if you're already having a sort of high performance life, you can still crank it up and give it better, because those he divides lives into different drives, right? What drives us to have that exceptional charged life? And each of these drives, and I just give you as an example, like control, congruence, competence, caring, connection, charge, change, challenge, creative expression, contribution, consciousness, all these drives, they have a special way of almost like fine-tuning them. There are ways of making someone, you know, be more in control of their life. There are ways of making someone being more congruent with, so what's on outside, that's also a reflection of what's on inside. Because if you are not walking your talk, you know, if you don't do what you preach, man, that life is not going to be your exceptional life. So in the book Charge, he describes all different charge points and all different activators for these drives that I just explained. And you can literally change everything just by, you know, making small, seemingly insignificant changes in your daily life. So, my friends, these are the topics when I say diagnose, determine what was not working. What was not working? Were you clear in the past? You can get clearer. Were you living fully healthy, energetic, vibrant life? If you weren't, you can do it. Were you courageous or were you a coward? We can get you more bold, brave. We can do that. We can help you do that, and you can do it, and you can live that amazing, courageous life. You can increase your productivity and effectiveness, and you can know that whatever you do has a reason. You feel it's necessary. And when you do that, you can become that role model and you can influence others. And when you have all these pieces together, boy, are you going to start living that full, exceptional, high-performing life. So I gave you an example of asking yourself this question, diagnosing. If that's not something that, let's say, is your cup of tea, which possibly could be if you are not getting these concepts fully, I included a homework that is a very popular called Wheel of Life. Please download the 2 worksheets that are included in today's lessons. One will have a drawing of a wheel divided into 8 pies. And so it's a pie divided into 8 pieces. Each of these pieces of the pie represents one category of life. And then in the second worksheet, you are going to have a different prompts, questions that you will be answering in relation to those different categories of life. And again, you will kind of scoring yourself. I said everything about today, diagnosing and determining, will be related to some sort of scoring. So what I will ask you to do is, let's say in the category on relationships, you will ask yourself, am I happy? Who am I with? You know, is my love life good? Am I good as a parent? Is this all working out? You will have an opportunity to score yourself from 1 to 10. And then you will shade the area of that circle to that level that you scored yourself on. And then you're going to have, for example, area of your finances, you know, of money. Where are you with this? Are you, you know, making enough? Are you saving enough? Are you investing enough? Are you secure with your life? And those are the questions you need to answer, and then give yourself a score from 1 to 10. And then you will have a area of like religion, you know, spiritual belief, and the area of maybe career. Are you happy with what you do, or are you doing it just because it pays bills? And again, if you're doing this and you are not congruent with your beliefs, you don't jump out of bed, you know, every day happy that you're going to do your life's work instead of a busy work, then obviously you're not going to give yourself a high score, you know, and that is not exceptional life. So all these questions will give you a picture of your life. And then if I could show it to you, I have a pic. I didn't print it out, but I have a picture of this wheel. Do I not? Let me see. So I don't know if you can see it, but that's a picture of the wheel I'm talking about and the categories. And once you shade these areas, in the ideal world, the whole circle, the whole wheel will be shaded, right? It will be all covered to the 10. But if it's even 9 or 8, if it's pretty balanced, it's going to be a circle. But if some categories are completely out of balance, it's going to look like a star maybe. Or maybe it will be like completely look like a mess, like you won't even know what it is, like what kind of irregular shape it is. So the more irregular it is, the more work certain categories need, and the more you need to focus on it, because in order to have the exceptional life, you need to make the assessment, what was not working so far, what needs to be improved. So I hope that this just gives you that understanding and motivation that, you know what, I don't want to live the way I had it so far. I don't want to, you know, follow and make the same mistakes. I want to live at the highest levels possible. I want to reach that exceptional life in every category of, you know, from personal to business, from health to spiritual, just every category, whatever I touch, I want to live at the highest levels. And that's my mission. That's my, to help you do that. And tomorrow we will be discussing creating a vision, what we learned in the past from our mistakes, what we established wasn't working. And now in that beautiful vision, in that life that we will be actually dreaming up, right? Creating that beautiful vision of a dreamed life, we will try to incorporate all the pieces that weren't working. Because when we have that vision, not only from the quantum physics point of view, if you can actually visualize something and truly put that out of the universe that you want it, the universe will conspire to deliver it. There's so many concepts related to that it's very hard for some people who are very pragmatic and structure-oriented. They don't believe, they think it's a woo. But I believe that between the masculine energy of all that, you know, everything must be structured, measured, there is this feminine energy, you know. How does it feel like? What would that feel like for you if you actually lived that exceptional life? It's not only how it looks on paper, but how does it feel? You know, are you excited? Are you feeling happy, joyous? Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling engaged? So all of this we will continue talking about tomorrow. I hope you found it valuable. Please, 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 if you didn't do your homework yesterday, if you have to catch up with some work from yesterday, do it. Make sure you absolutely complete the homework from today. And tomorrow we're going to the final lesson, and then I will have a very special offer for you at the end. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.